and welcome to Greece's Tomorrow's Yesterday with your hosts, Max and Bob the Greek.
Hi guys, remember to subscribe to our Facebook page, Greece Tomorrow's Yesterday's Facebook page.
Today we have a good broadcast for you.
Oh yes we do.
We'll first have Mikey talking to the great King Pericles, who created democracy and the general of our Grand Navy and builder of our temples.
Inspiring, man.
After that, we will head to Halley at the Delian League stronghold, home of our powerful protectorates. These great men will give us an insight into their daily lives.
Good show.
Then after that, again, we will have a Persian War review with Sarah on the aftermath of the battles of Cyrus II and our great Greek leader. Then we will head off to Ronald for his modern art segment. This should be good as he has just come back from his visit to the temples. Yes, now we'll head to Mikey, who is with Pericles, who was elected as general 20 times while in office, and built up a powerful navy, fine monuments, and beautiful temples.
Yes, okay, see you in a bit, viewers.
Hello, everybody. We are here with our great friend Pericles. Pericles, tell us a little about yourself.
Hello, everyone. I was elected general 20 times. While in office, I built up a powerful navy and organized the building of strong defenses, fine monuments, and building temples. I also gave ordinary citizens more say in the government.
That's great. Athens was destroyed by Persia. What did you do to fix it? What else did you do?
Under my rule, Athens began building a program which included the creation of the Acropolis. I used my money to rebuild the city, which was destroyed by the Persians in 480 BC. Also, the Parthenon, I helped build that too. It was built on the Acropolis in 447 BC to replace an existing temple, which was also destroyed by the Persians. I hired a sculptor, Theodos, to oversee the work.
Tell us about your military experiences. I hear that you were a great leader.
Back in 454, I led a successful military campaign in Corinth, and I sponsored the establishment of Athenian colonies in Thrace and on the Black Sea coast. In 443, I was elected strategos, which is one of the Athens' leading generals.
You brought the population into the long walls, right?
In 431, I would evacuate the Athenian countryside, bring the population into the long walls, decline battle with the Spartan army, and rely on fleet to assure Athenian food supplies were secure and the empire on whose resources the expensive navy policy depended on. I mostly focused on naval improvements, but I tried to help out the others. I don't mean to brag, but Thucydides was asked by a Spartan king, Archimedes, whether he or Pericles was a better fighter. Thucydides answered without any hesitation that Pericles is better.
Now, since we're on the topic of military, why don't we talk about the Delian League? I hear you were a big contribution to it. What did you do?
We were afraid of the Persians attacking again, so we made a Delian League. Although later the Persians were not a threat anymore. But members were still expected to pay their dues. Even though there's no threat from the Persians, they still would give protection to their city.
That's fantastic. I know you did a lot with the military, but did you do anything else with the government?
I gave equal rights to work in the assembly. I didn't do it based on their status. I did it based on their ability to work. I also supported many cultural activities, such as art, architecture, and literature.
Pericles, it was a thrill to have you here. Thank you for giving us a background about yourself and telling us about your life. I hope you can come back later and tell us more about your history.
Anytime. I love seeing my fans, and it'll be a pleasure to come back again. It reminds me of when I was a young man working to be the best.
There you have it, folks. This is Pericles and his backstory. I hope you had a great time watching us, and see you again on channel 808. Here you are with the next guest, Howard.
Thanks, Max. Hello, everyone. Today I'm interviewing Anastasia from Athens.
Hi, everyone. I am so excited to be here today.
So, Anastasia, where do you go to meet other members of the Delian League? Where are the other members from?
The headquarters of this new alliance is on the island of Delos. Representatives from Athens, the Ionian cities, and almost all of the Aegean islands came to meet with us.
The League was formed right after the Persian Wars, when the Greeks defeated them with flying colors.
Exactly. We wanted to help those become stronger by being prepared for any invasion by the Persians, though not everyone was so into this idea. Sparta and the people who lived around it, who didn't agree that Persians were still a threat, didn't join. Also, the people who hated the Athenian people wouldn't become partners of the Delian League.
Why did people join?
Most of the Ionian Greek cities had become members of the League as a way of knowing the Persians will never be able to attack again.
Did members of this association all vote? Did only the people from Athens participate in certain topics?
Even though Athens hosted the League, all the members had an equal vote in the topic of principle and sometimes more.
What was the main purpose of creating this league?
Even though we had defeated the Persians, many of us were afraid that they still were a threat, so we created an alliance that protected the Greeks from invading Persians.
I have learned so much from Anastasia today, and I bet you viewers have too. Let's take a short commercial break. And we're back. Did you ever have different thoughts about your purpose with the other members of the Delian League?
Athens was more interested in using the League to perfect the punishments of defeating the Persians, while Sparta was unwilling to commit into the navy, though we learned to work together.
What did you accomplish? Also, where was all the treasures placed?
Between 476 and 466 BCE, a Greek force was able to set free the coast of the Aegean from the Persians. We also destroyed the Persian navy and their army. The League's treasures were transferred to Athens and kept in a temple.
How did the League come to an end?
Years later, they made peace with the Persians and the League was no longer needed, though most of the members had already quit because Athens was gaining too much power.
Did anyone help you gain power?
Pericles was able to grow the wealth and power of Athens from this league.
Do you think that you were more involved in this league than others? In other words, did you believe you had more power then?
That's my son.
Athens became the League's uncontested ruler. We could use the League to help us with their own purposes.
So Athens had a lot of success from this association?
Yes, it is very sad that it had to end this way.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. I had lots of fun with Anastasia, and I hope you guys did too.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, that wraps up the Delian League interview. Now here's Sarah with her news story.
Thanks, Max. Right now, I'm here with Cyrus II, one of the two kings of Persia, to hear about the Persian Wars. Why don't you tell us a little about what started the series of wars?
In the generation before 522 BC, the Persian kings Cambyses II and myself extended our rule from the Indus River Valley to the Aegean Sea. After the defeat of the Lydian king Croesus, us Persians started gradually conquer the small Greek city-states along the Anatolian coast, which didn't make the Greeks very happy.
So at the beginning, did you feel there was much competition?
Well, although our Persian Empire was at the peak of its strength, the collective defense mounted by the Greeks overcame seemingly impossible odds and managed to succeed very well.
I heard that your power had been taken over by Darius. Is that true?
Yes, unfortunately, in 522 BC, Darius came to power and set about consolidating and strengthening the Persian Empire.
In 500 BCE, the Greek city-states on the western coast of the Anatolia rose up in rebellion against Persia. This uprising was known as the Ionian Revolt. Failed, but its consequences for the mainland Greeks were significant.
Yes. However, in 490 BCE, a Persian army of 25,000 men landed unopposed on the plain of Marathon, and the Athenians appealed to Sparta to join forces against the invader. The 10,000 Athenians had to face the Persians, aided by only 1,000 men from Plataea.
The Athenians were commanded by 10 generals, the most daring of whom were Miltiades. While the Persian cavalry was away, he seized the opportunity to attack. The Greeks won a decisive victory, losing only 192 men to the Persians' 6,400.
The 10,000 Athenians had to face the Persians, aided by only the 1,000 men from Plataea, which caused the Persians to be defeated at Marathon. After their defeat at Marathon, the Persians went home, but they returned in vastly great numbers 10 years later, led by Darius' successor, Xerxes.
I'm guessing that you were happy to see Darius out of power. Would I be right?
Well, I honestly do think that Xerxes is a better leader for Persia during this tough time, although the unprecedented size of his forces made their progress quite slow, giving the Greeks plenty of time to prepare their defense.
A general Greek league against Persia was formed in 481. The Greeks decided to deploy a force of about 7,000 men at the narrow pass of the Thermopylae and a force of 271 ships under Themistocles at Artemisium.
The Persians met the Greeks in battle over a period of 3 days in August 480 BC. That night, a tremendous storm destroyed the Persian squadron while the Greeks were safely in port. On land, the Persians attacked the Greeks at Thermopylae for 2 days, but suffered heavy losses. However, on the second night, a Greek trader guided the best Persian troops around the pass behind the Greek army. Too bad I wasn't later at this time.
Now, for those of our viewers who haven't been watching lately, although Xerxes returned to Persia that winter, his army remained in Greece. It was finally driven from the country after the Battle of Plataea in 479 BC, where it was defeated by a combined force of Spartans, Tegeans, and Athenians.
The Persian navy was defeated at Mycale on the Asiatic coast, where it declined to engage the Greek fleet. Although the Persian invasion was ended by the battles at Plataea and Mycale, fighting between Greece and Persia continued for another 30 years. Led by the Athenians, the newly formed Delian League went on the offensive to free the Ionian city-states on the Anatolian coast.
Now, I have one last question. Do you believe that the outcome of these wars could have been predicted, or was it a surprise?
Being one of the leaders of Persia in the beginning, of course I believe Persia was a better area, but obviously I was wrong. The Greek city-states just happened to be the better area in the wars.
Thanks for teaching us about the recent happenings between the Greeks and the Persians.
Thanks for having me here today.
Let's head over to Sarah, who will give you some knowledge about the Persian Wars, a series of wars fought by Greek states and Persia over a time period of almost half a century. Thank you for that inspiring interview, Sarah.
After the Greeks defended themselves from the evil Persians, Greeks celebrated by making tons of art.
Art is very, very important in ancient Greece.
There are kinds like pots, architecture, statues. They made such art as statues, as earrings, even made with an oil container at the shape of a dolphin. A lot of the pottery is made from clay. Some pots are really hollow and skinny.
Art was considered infused cultural and religious purposes. Co-report, some of the art was in architecture.
The pillars were designed by artists. An important art in the Golden Age was the Temple of Athenians. There is also the Parthian sculpture, including frieze. An important art in the Golden Age was the Temple of the Athenians. There are Parthian sculptures, including frieze. The temples of the Athenians was an Acropolis. The Acropolis was a temple on a hill. There are also famous sculptures. Some of them are so realistic. These sculptures look so realistic.
So, why do they look realistic?
The sculptures have a lot of detail, and they possibly copied it from real people.
Did they get art training?
I don't know. So, what art is? Is that what art is? Hope you'll...
So, art is important, eh?
If you want to see more information...
Oh my god, we're recording! Let's talk more about information.
The Greek copy of the Egyptian was copied from the Mesopotamian.
That's all?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're scared. Good morning. Today I'm here with Agus.
Hello.
So tell me, when was the Parthenon built?
We built it between 447 and 432 BC.
It's a beautiful building.
Yes, indeed it is.
Tell me about the temples you built here.
Temples are made from marble or limestone, but the roof and floors and ceilings are made out of wood. The outside of the roof is made from huge stone blocks. All of this is held together with metal pegs and lifted into position with ropes.
Wow. Why is the ancient Greek theater so important?
The ancient Greek theater is so important because the theater has festivals of honoring their gods.
Fascinating. Would you mind telling me what your name means?
It comes from a giant with 100 eyes. It also means a Greek figure who is supposed to have a hand in the founding of the city of Athens.
Wow, that's great. Thanks for meeting with me.
You're welcome.
Okay, folks, unfortunately that concludes tonight's program. As always, I've been Max, and he's been Bob. So see you next time on Greece's Tomorrow's Yesterday.